Hello and welcome to round 3 of my F1 99 career mode. Now, as some of you might have already picked up, there was no Murray Walker on this one. Reason why is I'm just going to show off a feature that was put into the game that was very rarely used, and you're going to see why it was very rarely used. It's the pit-to-car radio. It is the most miserable person you've ever seen. You think Jeff is bad on the modern F1 games, well, we'll call this one Jock, and you'll see how miserable he is. As we go into our first lap of qualifying here. Now, I'm not expecting a good race here because of how tight and how narrow this circuit is with all the chicanes. As we head towards the first chicane, we actually get blocked off there by one of the McLarens, so this lap's already going to go really bad. And it actually happened later on with this arrow.
I'm worried about your rear wing. Head now so we can check it out. That could have been nasty. I assume you're all right. The nose cone looks damaged and needs replacing.
So yeah, that's why not a lot of people played with the pit-to-car radio on in this game. So we got the car fixed, and we went out to do another hot lap, and we ran off the track, and as you can see, that puts us in 22nd in last place. Not where we want to be. As we go on to our next lap here, we had to overtake that cross around the outside going into the final chicane, and we crossed the line, and we actually got on second place, which I don't think is a bad effort, seeing as we had to go around the outside of the cross there. We go on to our next lap.
That wasn't very clever, was it?
And yeah, as our pit radio says, it wasn't really clever what we did there, spinning off. But we go around for another lap, and we're on pole by 2 seconds. I thought that was really unusual. So I thought, you know, maybe the AI might catch up as we skip towards the end of the qualifying hour. Maybe they get a bit closer. And this was to be my fastest lap in qualifying, and it's probably best just to let it play out to you. And we crossed the line, and we were 3 seconds up on our previous best time, but we'll go over to Murray Walker and the grid.
Jack Villeneuve is alongside on row 1. Sitting in the grid, third slot, Rubens Barrichello. In 4th, Ralf Schumacher. 5th place for Pedro Diniz. In 6th spot, Mika Salo. 7th place for Johnny Herbert. Olivier Panis is 8th. Jarno Trulli is 9th. Luca Badoa will start 10th. Pedro de la Rosa is 11th. Mika Häkkinen sits in 12th place. Michael Schumacher is in 13th place. 14th place is Eddie Irvine. David Coulthard starts in 15th. Damon Hill will start 16th. 17th for Teranosuke Takagi. Alexander Wurz, 18th. Giancarlo Fisichella, starting 19th. It'll be 20th for Marc Genet. 21st is going to be Alessandro Zanardi. And starting right at the back will be Jean Alesi.
So another interesting qualifying there. So we got Irvine
Schumacher and Hakkinen well down on the grid, so maybe they're having a bit of problems with the traffic around here, because traffic will play a big role in this race, because I've decided to go for a two-stop strategy just to try and keep us out the traffic as much as we can. And we're going to be pulling up on the grid here, and we're going to go over to the red lights. So no Murray Walker on this one, because we've got the pit radio, we've got the 5 red lights on, and they all go out and we're underway, and it's an okay start by myself. Jacques Villeneuve's also got an okay start. He's going to put us under a bit of pressure going into the first chicane here. He's going to try and go around the outside. And he quite clearly turned into us there, but our race engineer is going to give us a telling off as we go towards the Villeneuve chicane. Jacques Villeneuve is still up our inside with a chop across his nose, and we're going to retain the lead here as we go to the end of the first sector. We're going to skip to the end of the first lap, and it's going to be myself from Jacques Villeneuve in second place. In third place we've got Rubens Barrichello in the Stewart, Ralf Schumacher 4th, Salo 5th, Hakkinen 6th, Denitz 7th, Michael Schumacher 8th. So we've got a good recovery drive already from Mika Hakkinen. And for the first stint of the race, I was largely untroubled other than this incident here on lap number 2. We ran a little bit wide. It did put us under a little bit of pressure. As we see there on the timing screen, we're over 10 seconds in front.
Be careful, you're losing a lot of oil.
We're over 10 seconds in front at the end of lap 5, but our race engineer is telling us some bad news. We're losing oil, and he's going to give us some more bad news in a few moments as we go through the final chicane.
We think you've picked up a misfire. There's nothing we can do from here, so let's hope it clears.
So we got a bit of a misfire as well.
Strategies.
So, you know,
There's traffic ahead, but you can't afford to get held up.
is there a bit of a problem with the Mugen Honda engine that both myself and my teammate Damon Hill are running as we go to the end of the lap? We're starting to lap some back markers. We've already got past the Minardi, we get past the Narrows, we've got another Minardi. This is Marc Genet. We're going to the Tosa hairpin. He gets really close to our back wheel there. We're very lucky not to get any contact as we go up towards the Piratella. And our race engineer is going to give us some more bad news here.
We think your steering needs attention. The tires are showing out normal wear.
So it's the thing with Imola, there's a lot of curbing here, so might be affecting our steering with all the curb jumping that we're doing. But we are going to be stopping soon. At the end of lap 21, we've got one of the Benettons in front of us.
To run out of fuel. Be gentle with the brakes. There's a long way to go.
As we go into the pit lane, I make a bit of a mess of the entry, but we did get it slowed down to the speed limit. As we go into the pit lane here, we've got quite a healthy lead here, but is it enough to retain it when we come back out? We're just finishing up our pit stop, and we head out, and we are going to retain our lead here.
That lap was slower than the last one.
As
We think your steering needs attention. The tires are showing out normal wear.
our race engineer will not shut up. But we're going to go to the end of lap 23, and we've got some big developments here.
The safety car is on the track, so watch your speed.
We've got a safety car that has come out onto the racetrack. Now we won't be told until we get to the end of the first sector who the person who was the one that retired, as we're going to be heading round and we're going to catch up to the safety car.
There's traffic ahead, but you can't afford to get held up.
As our race engineer just tells us, the traffic up here, there's traffic ahead, which is actually the safety car of all things. He just kept saying it throughout this lap. As we go to the end of the first sector, we're going to get confirmation who it is, and it's Eddie Irvine in the Ferrari. He's out with a blown engine, the championship leader. Now, he was so far ahead in the championship after 2 rounds, he will retain the lead, even if Michael Schumacher, who is in second place, does pick up the race win.
Traffic ahead, but you can't afford to get held up.
And the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap here, so we're going to bunch the pack up behind as we go into the 2 Ravazzas, let the safety car get away. And when are we gonna get going here? As we do a nice little bit of wheel spins there, and we're off. So safety car's coming in, and we've got the jump on the pack here as we go to the end of lap 24, going into lap 25. We go through the final chicane. We are going to be in the lead from Mika Hakkinen. Second place will be David Coulthard. I believe it's Michael Schumacher who's in third. We're going to get confirmation here from the timing screen. There we go. Michael Schumacher in fourth, Damon Hill in fifth, Ralf Schumacher, Barrichello, Villeneuve, Salo. They are the top 9 as we go through the Villeneuve chicane. John Lacey into 10th place there, coming from the back of the grid, so he's having a good race. As we go through the Tosa hairpin, we're going to be under pressure here from the Ferraris and the McLarens, and I think I heard someone retiring behind us. I didn't see who it was, but someone who was behind us is out of this Grand Prix with a blown engine. As we go into the Aqua Minerale, the fast double right-hander, do a little bit of shortcut in there, as we've got the McLarens side by side going up into the Variante Alta chicane, very tight chicane. I think it's still Mika Hakkinen in second place chasing us down, David Coulthard in third, but didn't see the rest of them because they're all so tightly packed up, couldn't quite see who it was. As we go through the double left-hander at the Ravazza, going towards the final chicane, the Chiguardo, and we go through there as we go over the grid onto the start of lap 26. We still don't know who it was who retired from the race.
If you feel any loss of downforce, slow down immediately and pit.
As we get the top 6 there on the timing screen, I think I know who it is, but we're going to get confirmation of it. I got a feeling it might have been Michael Schumacher that retired. As we go through the fast chicane, Mika Salo sets the fastest lap in the BAR on lap 25, and there is a confirmation. Michael Schumacher has retired. So it's absolute disaster for Ferrari. First and second in the championship, top of the constructors, and they're both out on home ground at Imola. As we go on to lap 27 here, we've got Mika Hakkinen going to be putting us under pressure as we're going into the Piratella, the fast left-hander at the top of the hill, going down into Aqua Minerale, the fast double right, and climb up the hill toward the Variante Alta, still under pressure. I could see Damon Hill there was putting both the McLarens under pressure as we go through the fast chicane, run a little bit wide on the exit, still got the 2 McLarens behind us. As we go into the double left at the Ravazza, very tricky braking zone there as it's downhill. And we look behind us and the 2 McLarens going side by side. I think DC's going to pass Mika Hakkinen as we go into the end of the lap through the Chiguardo across the start-finish line. In fact, actually the start-finish line is not there, it's actually a bit further along. As we go through the Tosa hairpin, we're skipping it a bit here. We're coming under pressure from one of the McLarens here. As we climb up the hill, I'm going to go very defensive, make them go the long way, but they're deciding not to go the long way. They're going to hit us up the rear wing, and you know, the 2 McLarens are side by side as they go through the Aqua Minerale, and I think my teammate has passed both of them. Yes, we have. It's a Jordan 1-2. Damon Hill has taken second place from the 2 McLarens as we go through the final chicane, and he's going to put us under pressure going into the first chicane. So I think maybe what might be a good idea is if I let my teammate through and see if I can hold up the 2 McLarens. As I stick 2 wheels on the grass, and there's a lot of contact there because I think we hit our teammate, we hit one of the McLarens, and our race engineer is saying we might have got some serious damage from there. We might need to come in, which I don't really want to do, so I decided to stay out. It seems absolutely fine as we're putting Ralf Schumacher under pressure for 4th place on lap 31 here, going into the Villeneuve chicane, and he stays round our outside and he retains that place. And we're going to skip a little bit further onto this lap as we go down towards the Aqua Minerale. We've had a bit of a poor run through there, through the Piratella, and that is Rubens Barrichello in the Stewart getting past us. He's going to take 5th place, but we take it straight back, going around the outside of the second part of the Aqua Minerale. And we get told by our race engineer that our teammate Damon Hill is in the pits, as are a few others, as we go into 3rd place. As we go onto lap 32 here, climbing up the hill out of Tosa toward Piratella, that really powerful Ford engine in that Stewart in front of us is powered in front of us, and we've run wide, and Jacques Villeneuve has got in front of us. Jacques Villeneuve is into 4th place, we've dropped down to 5th. As we go later on, We've been told off for overdriving the car because we did actually make contact with Jacques Villeneuve and we go around the outside of him. Has he got a problem? Did that contact do any damage to the BAR? As we go into the final chicane, as we've got Ralf Schumacher in front of us pitting, and the rest of the leaders have as well, and so we're back into first place here. As we skip to lap 40, we've got our list of retirements, and it was big news. One of those was David Coulthard. Another one of the championship leaders is out of the race. As we go to lap 42, it is our pit stop. This is our second stop as we head into the pit box. Will we be able to retain our lead? So we're back underway again, and we have retained our lead, and we're absolutely miles ahead. So the only thing that can really stop us is the back markers. So starting to pass the Minardis and the Arrows, and getting past Takagi there. I'm going to sneak it up the inside of Pedro de la Rosa, and maybe not. He's decided to defend from us as we go up the hill. We're going to go side by side going into the Piratella. We're surely going to put him another lap down. As we go into the left-hander, he's actually gone around the outside of us and actually made contact. As we skip later on into the lap, as we go through the Variante Alta, get a shortcut warning there, and we were gaining rapidly there. He just slowed down and we made contact with him. We've actually spun our car, and it turned out it was to lead to greater damage, because we go to lap 53 and we actually lost our front wing as we went through the gravel. So that damage there was much worse than what it initially appeared, and that's going to be this is going to really cost us badly, as we've got Pedro Diniz in front of us, who's in the pits. He's in the pit lane to retire, as we get a new front wing. I've skipped it forward here as Mika Hakkinen is just passing us now, and you know, that was not what we wanted. We are down into second place, and I just wish this race engineer would shut up, because he always speaks at the wrong moment. So top 6 we can see there. As we go to the end of lap 54, we get a great run through the Variante Alta, and that is Mika Hakkinen in front of us. We're going to retake the lead going into the 2 Ravazzas, because we pitted for soft tyres. We've gone, you know, we're looking for qualifying laps to get in front of him, and we actually have got in front as we go into the final chicane. So, you know, we're in front with just a handful of laps to go. We do have some back markers in front of us, as we've got the Minardis and the Arrows in front of us again. I'm trying to talk over the race engineer, so I think I'm going to fire him and go back to Murray Walker. As we go into the Villeneuve chicane, we've run wider on the grass and we've slid off the track, and Mika Hakkinen has retaken the lead of this Grand Prix. This is turning into a disaster. We were miles in the lead. You know, we should be the winner of this. We should be winning this Grand Prix. This is a race I wasn't expecting to do well at. I was looking at the 10 points, and you know, I was looking at 10 points, and you know, we're down in second place. As we look through the list of retirements, we've got a whole list of them as we go past the Arrows towards the final chicane, desperately trying to catch up with Mika Hakkinen, and we shortcut the final chicane, and the stewards are going to have a look at us here because they're saying we're cutting too many chicanes. As we go to the end of lap 57, and they have given us a stop and go penalty for repeatedly shortcutting, and well, the stop-go penalty was given so late in the race we didn't actually have to take it. We're going to take a 25-second penalty instead. As we go on to the final lap, Mika Hakkinen is going through the Chiguardo over the start-finish line, and he has taken the victory. We're going to finish in second place. That's our teammate Damon Hill. So we're going to swap places, but how far back do we fall at the end of the Grand Prix? We've only just dropped the 1 place to Damon Hill because Jacques Villeneuve was so far behind us. Mika Salo is going to take 5th place in the other BAR, subbing for Ricardo Zonta, and Fisichella will finish in 6th. So we should have got 10 points out of that. Instead, we're going to get 4, which I suppose isn't the end of the world. It's better than no points. But you know, it's kind of like Australia. It was another race we should have won. You know, we had the speed, we had the distance, but something has happened. You know, and the one in Australia was my fault. I was too fast into the pit lane, but what happened today was not my fault. So we look at the championship standings, how this race has affected it. So it's going to be Eddie Irvine still in the lead from Mika Hakkinen, who is now in 2nd with 14 points. Michael Schumacher has dropped to 3rd with 10 World Championship points. Our teammate Damon Hill, that turned out to be a really good race for him, and he's in 4th place with 9 World Championship points. I'm just a point behind in 5th. DC has got 6 World Championship points, followed by Ralf Schumacher, who's got 4. And it was a good race for the 2 BARs, picking up 3 and 2 World Championship points. So Villeneuve in 8th, followed by Mika Salo. Rubens Barrichello and Giancarlo Fisichella both on 1 World Championship point apiece. But I think, you know, way Rubens Barrichello's been driving, I think he's a bit like myself. He should be finishing higher up in the races, and it's probably not doing him justice to have 1 World Championship point at the end of the 3rd round. Go to the constructors. Ferrari stay on 30 World Championship points with that double retirement. Mika Hakkinen has helped McLaren get up into 2nd place. And they're on 20. If DC didn't retire, because he's retired 2 races in a row, one was the collision with myself in Brazil, and then had some sort of technical problem in this Grand Prix. If it wasn't for those 2 retirements, I think the McLarens would be in the lead of the constructors. Jordan are in 3rd, so myself and Damon Hill providing a solid amount of points for the team. We got 17. BAR having a good race. They've jumped up to 4th with 5 World Championship points. Williams, it's just Ralf Schumacher who's scoring for them, so Zanardi not really helping the team, so they're down in 5th place with 4 points, and Stewart and Benetton have a point apiece. So that's, you know, that's our round 3, another race of what could have been. We should have won that race. We should be in 2nd in the World Championship in both the drivers and constructors. But that's not how it's ended up working out. But maybe we might be able to fix that in Monaco in the next round. It's another round which I don't think does me any good. You know, San Marino and Monaco probably the 2 most difficult rounds of the championship for me. So maybe not expecting a good result in the next race. But I said that about this race. I said I wasn't going to expect anything good, and we came away with a podium with the other championship leaders, some of them retiring. So maybe the same thing could happen in Monaco. So make sure you don't miss that. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment down below. What could I have done better in that race? What should I do for Monaco? You know, I would say if it wasn't for the disasters that we've been having, we'd be top of the table. But that's not the way. Maybe we can recover it next time in Monaco. But that'll be all for this video here. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, and who knows, we might get our first deserved win in Monte Carlo.